è ridicolo!
Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers. We have got your butt on top in Nosferatu 2, and we wondered classic as usual. All right, welcome back to Popcorn and Beers. It's been a minute. Well, it's actually only been a week, but it feels like it's been forever because it feels like there's been 17 holidays like jammed in to the time we've been off. And now we're up to Golden Globes, and it is that time of year where we discover our 3 favorite movies of the year. And I gotta say, gentlemen, it has been tough. It was a weak year. And I hate to say that for so many people that made films and we're a film review show, and we're going to get there, Josh. Just hold on. Just give me 2 seconds. I know you're thirsty. But it was a rough year for a lot of us, and I had trouble finding the films I want. So here we go. We're going to get into it as a film show where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. Welcome to Fat Toad and Strongbow, not sponsored by, but supported by Popcorn and Beers. So anyway,
a little thing. Let's rate
did
it.
you like it? You want me to like? I rubbed my nipples a little bit on it too. I was like, yeah.
We have a good time. So 30 years, a little bit.
I really wanted to go. Who was that old Family Feud host that would like kiss the people's wives and whatever? What was that guy's name? You remember that dude? He would like go up and be like, so. Yeah, the creep. It was a little heavy on that, on the creep, but it was a Jordan and I, or pardon me, Josh and I were talking about how rough it was. Like, he found a list on IMDb that was like 8,000, and I was like, no, dog. I found 18,000 movies that released this year, and I was just like, I went through 5 pages, Jordan, and I was like, what in the frick am I doing with my whole life? Why am I reading this list of... I know what movies I liked and what movies I didn't. So why am I doing this?
I wonder, too, like, it made me think, like, go back 30 years, 20 years, I don't know. This many movies being released in a year is just insane. Maybe I'm way off, but also, how are there this many movies that are clearly awful?
Yeah, like bad, like really bad.
Yeah, you know, it's not. There are just bad movies. There's been tons of bad movies, but you know what? My approach here was which 3 stuck out to me. Which do I remember for being so bad?
Yeah. Like, and you even wanted to do a worst movies of the year, and Josh and I we weren't prepared for that, because I thought about it, and I was like, man, this is a cool concept, but I didn't write down enough of the bad movies. I literally wanted to purge them from my memory banks of movies that existed. So when you asked that, I was like, I mean, I watched one this week for sure in the front room, and I'll review that later, but... If I had been more diligent in discovering, hey, what were the worst movies I watched this year, I probably would have a more comprehensive list. But when you popped that on us, I was like, it's a good concept, but I just don't know.
Yeah, and also, in fairness, I haven't seen a lot of movies from this year. As I'm going through this list, I'm like, I didn't watch in the theaters a whole lot. So that's tough. I guess I was really heavy on the shows last year. You know, I watched a lot of show.
Yeah, and Josh was like, Kung Fu Priest, what the fuck is that?
Pardon me.
Yeah. And then was Conclave.
What's your criteria? You said most memorable for you. That's how you made your top 3 pick?
Yeah. Most memorable, and you know, spoiler alert here, I didn't pick the Oscar bait that, you know, best movies that we're supposed to like. I picked ones that I just really liked. What?
Because we break the rules around here.
What?
No, it's popcorn. It's different. We're a different show, and here I am being a loser, and I picked a couple Oscar bait movies. I'm not gonna lie, but I do have an honorable mention, and I think we should all have at least one honorable mention. So I'll lead off if that's okay with you guys. I want to give you guys a second to think about like what movie did you leave off? Because there's no point in having 2 honorable mentions, because then we should just have a top 5. But what movie did you leave off that you're like, you know what, this very easily could have made it to my top 3? So I will tell you this: my honorable mention this year was Deadpool Wolverine. Deadpool
Oh,
Wolverine was my. It did not make my top three because unfortunately Jordan made me feel so called out. I went with a couple Oscar bait movies as my top three movies of the year, but Deadpool Wolverine was genuinely enjoyable and fun and a great theater experience for me. I saw it both in IMAX and regular, and both ways it was just so good and so fun, so
yeah.
entertaining, so rewatchable. I've seen it 3 times now. It was just a fun movie. So that made my honorable mentions list, and I really wanted to include it in my top three. But I'll start right now with number 3, Monkey Man.
Oh, you going in order? Okay.
Monkey Man. Yeah, I'm going in order. Monkey Man was my number 3 movie of the year. And the more I thought about it, I wasn't sure. I was like, God, it came out in April of 2024. But it was so good. It literally had everything I wanted in a movie. Action, suspense, storyline, cinematography. The score was great. It was a fun movie. It wasn't just action for the sake of action. It was fun. I had fun watching it. And I think it's rewatchable. I think it's something I can show people in 5 years and be like, dog, watch this movie by Dev Patel. It's amazing. It was one of those movies for me.
Definitely lasting. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then the next one, number 2. This is an Oscar favorite. She's probably going to win Best Actress for this film. Anora.
Anora.
The more I thought about it, as I looked through this list, I was like, I know I shouldn't say this. I said this to start the show. It's not a great year for film. It's just, I'm sorry. TV shows even were okay. The Boys, the Game of Thrones, the Dragon season 2, whatever that season's actually called. We had Fallout this year. We had a couple of Star Wars show. The Acolyte came out this year. Shrinking season 2. Like it was Bad Monkey was great. It was fun this year. Like there was a lot of really good shows that came out this year. So Anora, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, it was heartfelt. There was a storyline. There was a deeper metaphor involved in the storyline. You had to understand what this person was trying to dig themselves out of to get to where they were, why they were in the situation they were in, and how they felt manipulated, hurt, abused, and used. And I was like, you know what? She did a fantastic job. Well acted. It wasn't a boring movie by any means. It was fun. It was entertaining. A lot of times I'll watch an Oscar film and be like, look, there are parts of this that lull, that are just boring. And I get it, it's artistic, but I'm not interested. That's the problem. It is, okay, cool, that painting's in the Louvre, obviously great, not interested. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This wasn't that. I was interested throughout the entire movie. I wanted to follow the storyline. I liked where her story went, so I gave that one my number 2. And number 1, oh my god, I'm going to get so much hate for this. All right, because I think I gave this just a popcorn and 2. I don't think I gave this a popcorn and 3. But the more I thought about it, and again, I'm going to repeat myself over and over again, with it being not the strongest year in cinema, it made me laugh. It had horror elements. It had one of my favorite actresses of all time in it. The storyline made sense to me. It was ridiculous. I saw a 90-year-old woman get drop kicked. I had to go with this. The Substance was my number 1 movie of last year. I couldn't help myself. Like, the more I thought about it, the more I reviewed all the films that were on that list, I was like, no, this movie, I was dying in the theater. I was laughing so hard. Demi Moore crushed it in her role. I thought the writing was interesting. The storyline was interesting. And again, I don't know that I stopped laughing after the half-hour mark. I was dead after the half-hour mark, just laughing at every single thing that was going on. So for me, The Substance was my number 1 film of 2024. Josh, let's go with you and let Jordan get his thoughts all together, all worked up.
Oh, sure. Well, my honorable mention is going to be Brothers. I like Brothers. Brothers is a great film. It's on the Amazon. I think it's just a solid movie. It does have lasting stuff. It's got great. I just love great chemistry over most things. I kind of don't care if the plot sucks. If I'm really enjoying them talking to each other, you know what I mean?
That's with dialogue. If you have terrible dialogue, I check out like pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly, dude. Stylizations and all that stuff, and then you just can't fake chemistry. I don't care how good of an actor you are. So Brothers gets it. Yep, loved it. I don't know if I have a particular order, so I'm just gonna run through this. Deadpool is on my list, and I don't know, man. It's a number 3, but it seals up a trilogy that's one of the greatest trilogies in Marvel, at least, and it seals up a career. Kind of. I think we're gonna see another Wolverine, but like it went through the whole thing. It talked up. It threw in cameos after cameos. It was so much fan service, but it was like a certain stylization of its own meta or whatever. So it made it enjoyable. It was gratuitous, but great in a way. And you saw as a nerd and big time X-Men fan, like I loved every bit of it, dude. I was smiling ear to ear the whole time. So that's that. It was a popcorn 3. It's still a popcorn 3. Also, Boy Kills World. I want to do Monkey Bone, Monkey Paw, but Monkey Man. But
Monkey Bone, totally different movie.
Boy Kills World, though, I thought was just overall a better film. It was
Wow, that's crazy. So who was your honorable mention again?
Brothers.
Okay, over Monkey Man. So Monkey Man's not even. All right, keep going.
If I could have 2, I would, but
we know you
Monkey
like
Man. Monkey Man's great, but if you're talking about the difference between the two, Monkey Man has this deep, wonderful undertone. Or A Boy Kills World is just a comic book. It's a video game, and I love a game like a show like that. Scott Pilgrim stuff. You know what I mean? I love Boy Kills World. The fight scenes were so fun. The characters were surface, but entertaining. I loved it. Boy Kills World. Boom. And then finally, The Wild Robot. It was a beautiful...
Ooh, you're not alone. I've been seeing that on so many top 5, top 10 lists.
Yeah.
Wild Robot. And you even told me, do yourself a favor, go see Wild Robot. I still haven't seen it.
Dude, you got to see it. I'm sorry you missed it in theaters because, obviously the screen is always nice, but not a requirement. But it's absolutely gorgeous. Definitely Studio Ghibli levels of wonderful environments, a storyline that goes somewhere and it has a great ending, and people don't unnecessarily die. Like, they make the story work without having to kill mom or whatever.
Yeah.
Very, very
Shot
giving
at
tree.
Disney, bang, bang.
Very fun. Yeah, stop killing Andy's mom. Oh, too bad your mom's dead. Now you're a princess. Anyway.
Sorry, Nemo.
Dad's dead. Yeah, so that's my list. Wild Robot takes the cake, I think.
Okay, all right. And Jordan, we filibustered enough for you. What's going on with your honorable mention, your top 3?
Honorable mention has got to go to Arthur the King, the Mark Wahlberg movie with the dog.
Wow.
I know.
Really?
Yes, I really like. Have either of you guys watched this movie yet?
No, because your review wasn't glowing of it, so I've literally avoided it. Like, you were very clear. Yeah, you were very clear that the dog doesn't die, but I didn't like your review of it, so I've avoided it, and it's on Amazon.
I saw it. I saw it for sale for $5 at the Family Dollar.
It's a lovely movie. Look, and I'm admitted on this show, only a handful of movies have ever made me cry. All right. And about 3 of them are Mark Wahlberg movies. All right. So, yeah, I don't know what it is. But this one, definitely, the dog got me vulnerable. Anybody would cry with the dog. See the dog in pain. Yeah.
Hey, dog.
You want to run this race with me, boy?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, no, it's a good movie. It's got, sports and dogs and, good drama, beautiful locations, decent dialogue. There are some things left to be desired for sure, but this was just a fun movie that I remember being like, I really, really like that movie. It made me feel something. So
everyone likes an adventure movie. It's adventurous.
Can I, have you guys seen the Fight or Flight or whatever Flight Plan trailer yet for Mark Wahlberg's new movie?
Oh, that looks absolutely terrible. It looks like a fever dream, yeah.
Male pattern baldness with Mark Wahlberg. Like, the makeup on his head is so bad. It's so bad. Topher Grace, right? Is it Topher Grace?
I think so.
And I think it's got like a rock star director, and I'm just like, I watched the trailer, and just like you just said, I was like, this movie looks like it's gonna be ass. Like, it looks like it's gonna be bad.
Yeah. they're like fighting each other. Like, you need a pilot to fly the plane, so you can't kill me. It's just the most ridiculous thing. Yeah. All right. Bottoming out my list. All right, is going to be Dune 2.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, really?
Yes. Just as far as blockbusters go, this was this was early in the year too, I believe, right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah, very early in the year.
kind of set the tone. Yeah, it set the tone for the blockbusters for the rest of the year. And I just, Deadpool Wolverine obviously is up there, good movie, but this was the cinema experience really of the year. What what topped this as far as the grandioseness of it,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah. It's nothing's even close as far as the stature of the film.
Fall
Yeah.
Guy.
the gravitas, if you will, right? Um, Fall Guy was a good movie too.
Ryan Reynolds and Aaron Taylor Johnson on the same screen at the same time.
Yeah. But a sequel that was better than the first one by a lot. Yes, the first Dune was schmeh. This one was really good. Great action scenes. You get a lot of those big hurrah moments in the
Hurrah.
movie. Yes.
Hurrah!
We got
What were they?
Hey,
What were they? I
they
didn't
got away
think it was
from the sandworms.
I think it was a pop one for me. All right, Jordan, I love that you loved it. I'm not trying to trash your pick. It was just like,
No, I mean,
remember, this was
Jordan.
the start of bring back the beefcakes
Yeah.
for me. Like, I was like, I would bitch slap Timothy Chalamet and Austin Butler. Get out of here with those two fighting for the faith of humanity or the survival of humanity.
But they're doing a nice knife fight.
Yeah, combined 300 pounds. Get them out of here.
Knife fight for the future.
Yeah, yay! The skinny guys in the perfect world. All the nerds get the girls.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. But like, I don't want to shit on it because it wasn't a bad movie. But like,
Yeah.
casting was an issue for me in that movie.
We got it was birthed one of the best memes, my favorite memes of all year, the Lisan Al Gaib.
Oh, I thought it was
with Javier Bardem.
I thought you were gonna say it was the Zendaya Timothy Chalamet meme where they're having sex and it's is this as awkward for you as it is for me meme. Because the two of them don't have chemistry. Like they have friendship chemistry, but not let's fuck chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the Timothy Chalamet effect. Any kind of co-star he's got, he just doesn't exude that, like,
Would you like to have space sex with me?
yeah. That's kind of his demeanor, his aura. That's what he gives off.
Literally, they are the definition of rattling bones.
Yeah.
There's no meat in that.
Yeah. But look, it was
I apologize. Your face said it all.
it was a visually captivating movie, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I walked
That's
away
fair.
like that was a spectacle. That was an experience for sure.
Spectacle.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
word.
Yeah.
Have you watched it a second time?
No, it's too long. But
Uh-oh.
I'm not like opposed to it, but just
Yeah.
like we have, I got all my free time. I'm watching new stuff, new content for the show. We ain't going.
Yes.
We
Yes,
don't
it's
look
free.
back. We move forward. All
No,
right.
Josh watches the same movie 7 times. He gives us a review 7
Oh.
times throughout this year about how he watched the same movie 7 times, forgetting that he watched it 5 times prior.
I haven't watched Tombstone in a while.
So this was a tough one. Number 2 and number 1 was a tough coin flip kind of for me. But number 2, you're gonna love this because it's more Austin Butler.
Mm.
Bike Riders.
Bike
Bike
Riders?
Riders.
You know,
Bike
unique.
Riders.
Bike Riders.
It was a good movie. It was.
Bike
I agree,
Riders.
Jordan. It wasn't on my list, but like it was good.
This was a movie that surprised me, all right, because I am not into the whole Harley, motorbike. I hate it.
Culture.
Culture, the whole thing, the aesthetic,
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy, can't watch it. I don't like it. Not my cup of tea. But this quickly pulled me into the movie, all right? Tom Hardy can be a bit much, like all the time. He's a bit
Yep.
much.
Fair.
But look, it sold you a world. And the dialogue was great. It was Goodfellas for motorbike dorks. Like it was, I liked it. The duality of it, if you will, between
Yeah. You
yeah,
see, Goodfellas had a title that was good though.
yeah. The
Yeah.
title is the yeah. Finally, my number one movie. All right, hold your applause. Was Civil War with
But
Reese
Hey,
Witherspoon.
but
that was in my consideration
no,
for sure.
not Reese Witherspoon. Nope, Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst, the
Hell of
same
a hell of a move
person,
for your first film of the year.
the same person.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, I remember when this came out. I said she's gonna deserve a nomination for this.
Not
So
gonna
yeah,
get one, no.
it was definitely in my consideration.
yeah, fantastic acting, top to bottom. Just it's very socially poignant, especially now.
Yeah.
Again, it
Yeah.
is probably taken on a new life here. It's just a movie that's going to. I think it's going to have a resurgence as the next 4 years play out. I think we're going to be talking about this movie a lot more. So yeah, timeless kind of movie. Great
Yeah,
action, great story, great act, all everything. Loved it. Fantastic
loved it.
movie. It haunts me. Still thinks about it
Me
all the
too.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas and California teaming up. Makes
Not
sense.
gonna. Yeah.
Okay.
Why is that your hang up? That's the reason they did that is to make you say, "Oh, so it doesn't matter who's on whose side."
It was not just that. It was also I didn't like the young journalist girl that wanted to be like a photographer for the war. Her character was annoying to me.
It's
I thought
tough
the best.
to make that role work. That
They-
the kid.
Yeah, the best actor in the whole film to me was the black journalist that was with them on the ride that saves them from Jesse Plemons' gang. I thought he was if he's your star to me, then it's not a good movie. If your third place actor is the best actor in the movie, then I don't know that this is a good film.
Kirsten Dunst did a great job.
She
dude.
was wonderful. She killed
Okay.
it. She killed it.
Okay,
This guy
I'm
hates women.
my
This
guns
guy
are up.
hates women.
My guns are up. I'm sorry. Look at I'm exiting the saloon. Guns up.
They had to do things like make California and Texas allies because they didn't want this movie to play out like a manifesto of like how
Right.
this thing would actually play off.
They made that absurd so you could ignore that part. That's not the part that's important. We're
Yeah.
talking about this moment happening with these characters.
Well, and Ron Swanson playing the president is fantastic.
He was so good at that. The opening, such a great opening. Man, that was a good opening.
Yeah. Good movie.
Anyway,
Love
I think
it.
it's
What
available on Max right now, right? It's still available for the people
Yeah.
to watch.
yep. You should definitely go check that one out.
All right,
Hey,
so
Monkey
let's
Man.
get let's get right into our butter on top. Jordan, you did a complete unknown with Timothy
Yes.
Chalamet that has him in the best actor race of the Golden Globes for now. We'll see what happens with that. But Jordan, what did you think?
I think that is deserved. I think that is a
Okay.
deserved nod for sure. Look, he plays the tortured artist guy, tormented by fame and labels. Mr. Bob Dylan, right? What is really the complete unknown is what is the conflict throughout this movie? There's no real like what's the beginning, middle, and end here. Like
It's just
as you're watching.
guy plays music, gets better and better.
Yeah, guy gets better and better. He gets more and more like kind of pretentious and obnoxious about himself. And then you know what? You're like waiting for him to kind of be humbled or something. And just like nothing, there's never any conflict or never any kind of consequence or just anything that happens for anything that happens in this movie.
Hey, he met Elvis once.
Yeah, yeah, he's friends with Johnny Cash. Is it the conflict? Is it folk music versus electric guitar, rock and roll music that's coming of the 70s? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what's going on here.
Very
Okay.
emotional. Very
Yes.
emotional over this.
Yeah. That, folk music, electric guitar, right? Is it hippies versus the old McCarthy Red Scare kind of stuff going on?
Yeah.
Is it love interests? Is it love interest? That's the big conflict here. But no, not really, because it's like the 70s. It's free love. Like people are sleeping with whoever they want. So really, it's not that big a deal. Like nobody treats it like a big deal that there's this kind of love triangle. They're kind of like aware of each other. They never confront
Didn't
each
know
other.
that
about
was
it.
in the movie. There's a love triangle in this movie?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We're on the conflict, sir. I'll
Okay.
get there. All right. Look, I don't particularly enjoy Bob Dylan's music, okay, but I can appreciate for sure the genius of his songwriting.
Mr.
Okay.
Tambourine Man, baby.
Yes.
Dangerous Minds.
He's got great lyrics that he writes and everything. But the thing is that these songs, they don't appeal to me like in any real sense. Like there's never any like I'm in the mood to hear some Bob Dylan music. And that's just me. That's just me. But the music within the context of the movie was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was good. He has a great line in this. He says, people, and by the way, in his stupid accent, his like Midwestern Okie accent or whatever.
How did he do with that, by the way? That's what I want to know. How did Timothy do with that accent?
It's obnoxious and pretentious, which is Timothy Chalamet, the way his aura and he comes off. It's very much like he's mumbling and doing this on purpose to like sound cool, but like
Chalamet is Wonka, dude.
yeah, it's blah. But he says, people always want to know where my songs come from, but see their faces when they ask where my songs come from. They're really asking, why didn't they come to them? And I was like, wow, that's a good line there. To me.
I mean, I get it, but it's also exceptionally arrogant.
Right.
I didn't say it. I was like,
That is him, the entire movie. It's basically him interacting with, especially women, okay, and I'll get to them, going, and they're like, dude, you're an asshole. Like, you are pretentious. I think it's in the trailer that the actress, Monica Barbaro, who plays Joan Baez, okay, famous singer, that's in the trailer that she's just like, Bob, you're kind of an asshole. Like, that's the whole thing. Yeah. So, it stays focused. The movie stays focused. It doesn't get sidetracked. It kind of brushes on different things going out historically in the time. Cuban Missile Crisis, Kennedy getting shot, the coming in of the hippie movement and all that. It doesn't get sidetracked by any of this.
Coming in or coming out?
Ooh. Does not get sidetracked like that comment would have me. Monica Barbaro, as I said, plays Joan Baez. She is brilliant. It's a breakout performance. I don't know what else she's been in. I think she was in that show with Arnold where she's like his daughter and they're spies or some crap. I don't know. It came out earlier this year.
You're talking about Fubar. She was Fubar. She's in Top Gun Maverick.
You are my daughter. And
she's in Top Gun Maverick. Lots of Chicago Justice, Chicago PD.
Yeah.
And then the last thing you might know her from is The Good Cop.
Yeah, so let's call this her breakout performance. She is more or less the leading lady of this. What?
Yes, this is it.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't remember her from Top Gun Maverick, and nobody watched Fubar, so there's that.
I reviewed it last year, if you guys were wondering.
No.
If you want to go back a couple episodes.
The other leading lady in this is Elle Fanning. And she plays it perfect as the fictionalized love interest of Bob. That's like a huge motivation for him. She's playing somebody, but it's based on somebody. It's not, they changed the name and they changed a lot of details about their relationship just to drive the story. She is not
they didn't get the rights to the other person in real life.
There you go. That's the reason. That's the reason. And, but she plays this role very, very well. She is not obnoxious at all. You definitely see her side. She kind of just at some, she's into him, but she understands what she's into. And she's trying to distance herself from him, and he's kind of just being a douche and keeps trying to reel her back in just so that he can play her. Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think Elle is better than Dakota.
Yeah.
Dakota's had banger movies.
I think on our Butter on Top, we're definitely going to get to this in our Butter on Top because I have a similar theory about the Culkins. But I think Elle Fanning is the better Fanning. You're right though, Josh. Josh, you raised an interesting point. Dakota definitely has some bangers.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning has like some of the best movies ever. Like she's got a big list. But Elle Fanning's more talented, I think, or maybe more into it. I think it's fair. I think you raise it fair. That's what I was getting at. You just said it more bluntly. I think
Elle might be the better Fanning.
I think as adult actors, Elle has the better emotional range, characters and whatnot. Yeah, and then the rest of the movie is filled with people. Besides the obvious Johnny Cash and a couple others, you're like, are these people I'm supposed to know? Like, I'm not 70 years old watching this movie, 60 years old. All right, so maybe spoon feed it to me a little bit. Like, give me some context as to who these people are, because
Yeah.
there's like a lot of moments where it's like, oh, that's that guy over there, and Timothy Chalamet's kind of in awe, and you're like, who's that guy? It's yeah, yeah. Woody Guthrie is played by what's his name? Scoot McNairy, who's having a moment. It would seem, yeah,
Who is
terrible
Scoot
name.
McNairy?
Scoot, I think that's his name. McNairney. He is in Night Bitch. He's the husband in
Oh,
Night Bitch.
you're right. You got it. Scoot McNairy.
Yeah,
Old tree bark face.
Yes.
he is having a moment. Also, the guy who plays the bad guy in the first
Oh
Dead,
shit!
or
Killing
in
them
the Wolverine
softly.
movie.
Killing them softly. Speak no evil. You're right. You got a little bit of a moment. He worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Little 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon there in
Yeah.
Aftermath.
He's
All
popping
right,
up
Jordan.
everywhere.
Better get it.
Yeah. But yeah, are these people I'm supposed to know? I don't know. But I really didn't want to watch this movie. To be honest, I was dreading
Yeah.
it. But once I was there, I think the first hour flew by and I forgot I was in a movie theater. I swear to
Wow.
God, I had a moment of realization like, holy shit, where have I been for the past hour? Like, I lost all concept of time and space. Yeah, I was really sucked into this movie and I
Okay.
really, really enjoyed it. It just was not something I was particularly interested in and music that I particularly like. Like, I just don't really
Yeah.
care about this story, to be honest
Right.
with you. And Timothy Chalamet is annoying. His character is annoying, but I think he played that well. This was a popcorn and 2 for me, possibly a 3 for you out there, but I'm going to give this a popcorn 2 on my personal rating scale.
A little
Love that.
like behind the scenes, I heard that Timothy Chalamet practiced for like something like between 6 months and 2 years harmonica, so he could learn how to play.
That must have been annoying
And
as
like
shit.
Bob Dylan is like famously bad at playing harmonica.
Man, I commend you on it because you did go out on the limb and see this for the audience. I think the audience should know that this was not your first pick; it was just what was out. I went and saw Nosferatu after you saw it. It just came out here on New Year's Day, so I went and saw it on New Year's Day for the audience, so I could follow up to Jordan's review. And I tend to agree, probably a popcorn and 2. I think Lily Rose Depp was out of her depth for this film. I think she was in over her head. Aaron Taylor Johnson outacted her tremendously. Defoe obviously crushed her. Even Holt obviously was just she was just not in the same class. And I think she tried, but all of her scenes where she's trying to act becomes an overaction and becomes a meme in today's world. It was like the first scene in Nosferatu, it took audiences 1 week to turn it into a meme because it's so bad and it's so overacted and it's so ridiculous with the like having sex with a vampire in her dream, but there's no vampire. It was rough. And even Anna, my wife, walked away in this film going, how long do you think it's going to take them to turn his ass into a meme? And I was like, that's very funny.
Yeah.
And audience, you will see what I'm talking about when you watch this film.
Yeah.
Because my wife was absolutely accurate. What's crazy is, gentlemen, Nosferatu has a king dong. Like, you don't need no hypnotizing powers. That dude has like an 8-inch limp dick. It was wild when they showed the film. What in the world? Like, he don't need no vampire powers. That thing was just hanging there like, like yes, I'm making the sound because it was a propeller. It was spinning. But outside of the time you see Nosferatu's giant thing, it was written as well as it could be as a movie that's been retread. I don't think Eggers went too far beyond the content that already exists. Like, there was nothing prolific or profound about what he wrote outside of what is already in existence. It's my same theory with A Star is Born. I'm not going to give you an actor credit or a director credit for a film that somebody did better. I'm not going
Yeah.
to do it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if somebody's already done it better than you, I'm not going to say just because you redid it, you deserve a best director credit. You don't. Okay? It was the exact same movie. And if you saw Dracula on Netflix, literally, it's almost the same film. It's very close. And Dracula on Netflix is 3 episodes of an hour each done by BBC. And it was the same. The only place where Dracula falls off is episode 3. And in the third act, Nosferatu kind of falls off, if I'm being quite honest. They think they're really going for it, and they're not. You're bored. The scene with Defoe is overacted, very extravagant, like Jordan said. It is definitely a popcorn in 2, but I just don't see what he did that was so profoundly different than what already exists. Visually, it's beautiful. The cinematography is amazing. Set design is gorgeous. It was definitely shot on location. And some of the views that you get from this film are astonishing. You're very interested in that. But again, when you peer outside of that, as far as the writing, directing, and acting is concerned, it wasn't anything that's going to make you go, wow, this is one of the best films of 2024. It's going to make you say, wow, it was a movie. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Muffy.
I'm going to give it now based on what they did and the scope of work. It's definitely a pop 2. You could tell they put some work into it.
Popcorn too.
You could tell that it's a film that should be seen. However, it's been done before. It's been done the same. So
Hey.
popcorn 2. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, little known fact here. Just found this out. Nosferatu's ass was body doubled by Timothy Chalamet. Yeah.
But not the front side. All right, so Jordan, you had our drunk classic, and you chose Pop Star with Andy Samberg. Talk to us about why you chose that and why it's a drunk classic for you.
Yeah, Connor for real, man. Everyone's favorite fictional celebrity. Okay. This whole thing, it plays out like a Lonely Island sketch because that's who it is produced by. Him and his buddies, right? His 2 buddies with really strange, like Finnish names. Well, they're Canadian, obviously, right? Jorka
Yeah.
and Jorma and Yorka.
Yeah, they're Canadian.
Something like that. All right. The whole thing, I think this whole thing was meant to be a Macklemore parody. Specifically when you get the whole "not gay" song, because
that sketch was it's so funny though. That music video with Pink.
they're all funny.
Wings.
Yeah.
It was
They're-
definitely Bieber also. Definitely
Okay.
heavy Bieber.
I could see that. Yeah.
Justin Timberlake is what I got, but
It's the time that this came out. Like literally, this was like the height of Macklemore.
yeah,
And
but
then
I'm thinking like, who is Andy Samberg a fan of? Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. Like I'm thinking about his age.
It's
Yeah.
an amalgamation.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
Macklemore's in there because he was hot at the time. Yeah.
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 Look, the songs are funny, but they are bangers. They're banger funny.
Humble is like the
Good
beats
song,
that start off.
Yeah.
It's like, get it. You better get it.
Yeah. Yeah. The cameos. This is full of cameos. It plays like an MTV doc. It's full of the cameos, and it's great. Some of these people, you're like, how did they get them to do this?
How did they get Nas so many times?
Yeah.
It was. I loved it when Nas was like, "It changed my life, man."
Yeah.
No, photo shoot, Josh. The photo shoot with Nas and Connor for real. When Nas is just standing there like, what the is going on? This guy, and he's posing all around Nas, and Nas is just standing there.
Yeah. Their use of these cameos are funny. They're effective. My favorite for this whole thing is the Adam Levine, the holograms grinding on stage.
On itself.
Yeah,
On itself.
Yeah, the 2 holograms of Adam Levine grinding on stage. Fantastic. Love Eric Andre as the TMZ guys.
Oh man.
Ah!
The TMZ. My favorite part of the movie was the TMZ stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the movie.
He's duct-taping like 6 cups together.
Yeah.
What is Chelsea Petriotti or whatever her name is?
Already.
Yeah. It's great stuff. It's just, and it's again, it's one of those movies where every time you watch it, There's something else that you're like, that's my new favorite part of this movie.
Yeah.
There's a mention of a previous classic on there, Flatliners. Bill Hader, the roadie, is into flatlining, and he wakes up. Did I just shit my pants? Myself? Yeah, did I shit myself?
Not this time.
Things I quote all the time that people never. If I feel like a lot of people haven't seen this movie, and that's fine because I've tried to show this movie to a couple people and they just don't get it at all.
Mm-hmm. I don't see how it's so relatable to so many different audiences. So I don't get how people can't not attract them.
It's not very deep either. Like it's really. I mean, it's smart, but it's like very surface.
Yeah.
It's a parody. That's all it is. It's just a parody of a parody of a parody. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite lines. He's like my brother. If I had a mute brother that was hella scaly, talking about, and I say that a lot about my dog. It's like he's like my brother. If I had a mute brother that was hairy, and frog jizz. Frog jizz was just a subtle line where he's like, I got White Widow, Purple Urkel, Sour Diesel, Frog jizz, and there's just a jar of green slime with all the weed. One of my favorite movie lines of all time, and I drop that a lot in conversation. People will be like, frog jizz? What? Oh, man. You never stopped being the Wu-Tang Clan. You're Tom Petty. You're Tom Petty. You're Tom Petty. And together we're Tom Petty. No, we're the Heartbreakers. Again, just line after line after line. This is a popcorn of a movie, but I love it. I love it so much.
You call it popcorn?
Popcorn?
Yeah. It's a stupid movie. There's no plot. It's just like.
But rate it for what it is. Like what it's meant to be. Okay. Not like in the grand scheme of cinema. Like what is this meant to be? And then rate it on that scale.
Oh, well, as far as parodies go, this is a popcorn and 2 for sure.
Yeah, I love this movie. Josh, go ahead before I get too deep into it.
Oh, yeah. I mean. Same thing. I've been a fan of Lonely Island since before you.
Yeah,
I knew about them first.
In my pants.
Yeah, I watched their old YouTube videos. They have an old gangster film or a song, "We'll Kill You," and it's just stupid. Anyway, big fan of theirs. They always bang it out. They have great music. It's stupid. It's intentionally more stupid than any Weird Al song. Like, they over-explain things, and it's just really dumb concepts that shift in the middle of the song sometimes. The whole thing's... I just love it. I loved all the cameos. The TMZ scene was probably my favorite. I love it. Didn't take anything seriously whatsoever. Yeah, I'd say popcorn one. It was good. I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, I mean, and this definitely spawned Andy Samberg to do 7 Days in Hell, Tour de Pharmacy. Like, it led to films for him parodying certain events that have happened throughout history. The appliances scene, where all the appliances play his album, making a spoof of when U2 put their album on everybody's.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was so funny and just subtle enough for people to get and latch onto. And then in the scene of advertising it, Maya Rudolph going with the hard R, and then not David Allen Greer, what's his name?
Ladies Man.
I forgot his name.
The Ladies
Man.
Yeah, going with, she went with the hard R.
He was so great. I love him in everything he does. He's so great.
It's a combination of Maya Rudolph going with the hard R, and then you hear him in the background going, she went with the hard R. It was so funny. And then DJ Khaled with the catchphrase verse. See, you got a catchphrase, and then your phrase is catched. Like, what is going on here?
That is Tim Meadows. Tim
Meadows, yeah. There's so much about this. For me, it is definitely a pop 2 based on the genre it's in, based on what it's trying to do. And it's so light. It's
it's short.
Light.
It's buttercream frosting, bro.
Yeah, you just put it on. It's so funny. The poo in the pancake is fantastic. And he's like, dude, why are you mad? You passed the test. I'm mad because you put shit in my pancakes.
A homegirl in the corner is just munching.
Yeah.
So, like that, and Maximus, the turtle.
Yeah.
He holds up the turtle's sick, and the turtle just throws up out the window.
It's just jam packed. It's definitely jam
Yeah.
packed full.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and I think if you need something light, you just need to laugh at like why do we take ourselves in society so serious on issues that are not that serious? Is a perfect movie to be kind of meta about why are we taking shit so seriously that's unimportant? Why can't we view it through a parody lens? Be like, why am I looking at this that's clearly not the actual issue and just laughing at like, look at all these idiots thinking that this is the real issue and just laughing at it. So I love it. And yes, Jordan, you're absolutely right. And I want to encourage the audience to go actually look at the soundtrack outside of this because there are not just bangers in the film, but there are bangers that were left off. Like Bleep You is one of my favorite songs to just play during a workout routine by Andy Samberg. Have you guys heard Bleep You?
Mm-mm.
I will listen to it.
Oh my God, it's so good. In fact, for this episode, I'm going to actually let you guys hear it really quick so you can understand exactly where I'm coming from because this was shown to me by a friend of mine who actually downloaded the soundtrack and it's amazing. So let's just
Yo, this one's dedicated to all the little kids out there whose parents are always right. Telling you to
Connor for real.
next time they're acting bogus, I want you to try this out. Stand up on your tippy toes, look them dead in the eye, and say, Mom, Dad, you can go
So there you go. That's for all of you to go ahead and download that track because I will listen to it regularly during a workout because it just
reminds
makes me laugh.
Reminds me of Snoop Dogg's Kid album that he made.
Oh my God, no, but it's so the lyrics he says in that are so funny. Like I'm not even gonna ruin it for you, but just check it out. It's funny and it's gonna lighten your mood. And let's get to what we were watching this week.
Okay.
I think I have the most. So let's start with me, and I'm gonna start with a film I watched called The Front Room. This is
Okay.
Brandy's return to cinema. It's available for you on Max, and don't watch it.
Yeah.
It is one of the worst movies ever. I don't know
Almost
why it
doesn't
was made.
count.
I don't think it should have been made. I don't know what Brandy was thinking. There's no point to it. There's no rhyme or reason. When you think it's got a storyline, you're wrong. It goes off on so many different paths, and you're like, oh, well, this is for sure where it's going. Psych! This is not where we're going. We're going to get crazy. That's the whole movie. Okay? Is that. It's like, man, I hate her, but I'm going to suck on her nipple. And you're like, wait, what? What? Why? What's happening? Yeah. And it's not the nipple you think, just so you know.
It's his nipple.
It is weird. Essentially, in this story, Brandy and her new husband have bought a house, and Brandy has quit her job as no longer an adjunct professor, but actually a full-time professor at a school. Why did she quit her job? No reason. She felt like she was being slighted. No reason for her to quit her job. She's actually a full-time professor, but she feels like the dean of the school is slighting her because she is a female professor, not just a black female professor, just female. So she quits because that's the way to solve it. Now, their already broke home is more broke because he's a public defender. Now what do they need? Someone to solve all their issues by moving in and paying all their bills. Who's going to do it? Crazy religious grandma. Hey there, crazy religious grandma. Welcome to the house.
Is
And
it
she
Tyler
goes-
Perry?
She walks in and goes, look at me with my 4 legs. I'm crazy religious grandma. And it just goes from there. It's so bad. It is such a bad movie. Like, and even all the moves in it where the crazy religious grandma goes, why are you going to name your daughter after a plant? You should name her what I come up with, even though you just met me 5 minutes ago. And then you know what they do? They look at each other and go, this is a great idea. We should name her after what this lady said that we just invited into our house 5 minutes ago. No rhyme or reason in this movie. It should have never been made. There's random just scenes just for no reason where she's incontinent, so she passes out on the floor and just farts. That's in the movie. That's a literal scene in the movie.
They made
She
Brandy
just
fart?
Old lady fart.
Oh.
No reason. No reason at all. No, and Brandy, though she has the kid, is never allowed to be unpregnant. like she's always pregnant. Like even after the baby is had, like the bodysuit is always worn, and I never got that choice. So barely a popcorn. Definitely going back to our heyday. This was about a colonel. Jordan, what were you watching?
Well, I got to the cinema, a little bonus cinema action here.
There we go.
We've got Sonic 3.
Gotta go fast.
Yes. Sonic 3. Look, this is and this is pretty much the same review as I've given the previous two Sonics with a different result. Okay? Jim Carrey unleashed, right? That's every movie. It seems like you're like, how can they unleash Jim Carrey more? And I think that's how they get him to keep coming back, because they're like, we will give you even more rope to just do Jim Carrey weird stuff, and we promise
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, we will not cut it. Like, just keep going.
Okay.
It's great acting, voice acting, like relatively, for like an animated film. You know, you got, it's supposed to be over the top. It's supposed to be Sonic. It's supposed to be, you know, Keanu Reeves is supposed to be the Shadow the Hedgehog. If you ever heard the dialogue in the video games and all that, it's supposed to just be very breathy and over the top and dramatic. And he was perfect for that. Idris Elba as Knuckles, fantastic. Nick Schwartzman, right? Ben Schwartz, is that his name? Ben Schwartz as Sonic. It's all just great. Great voice casting. The dialogue is often corny, but it's sometimes clever. All right. Sometimes you get some funny adult humor and all that stuff mixed in there. There's stuff for adults in this movie. Fantastic CGI and action scenes are choreographed, however you want to designed, whatever. Very, very good. Very fun, engaging, right? You get your Sonic Easter eggs throughout this thing. I give this one a pop 2. Okay. And I think I think this is a very similar review to Sonic 2, but I think I gave it like a popcorn, and I was like, stop making sequels to this. But this was great. It was fun. Cool. It was good. I really liked this movie.
Highest grossing movie in the world currently.
Yeah.
Is Sonic 3.
It's good.
So, I watched not so good Assassin's Club on Netflix, which I think was Netflix's answer to Peacock's The Killers. This is, again, not necessarily necessary, but it was much better than The Killers. And closet action film of top 10 maybe of the year, it was actually kind of good. Popcorn and one for me. But overall, the main assassin did a great job. The worst part about it was his Italian wife or fiance that was about to be his baby mama. If she wasn't in, if they cut her out and just him trying to get away from other assassins setting him up for murder that he didn't commit, and a dishonorable murder, it would have been a really, really good movie. Dialogue's not great, but it's an action film through and through. Like, they weren't going for dialogue. The hand-to-hand combat was a lot of fun. The heartfelt scene was actually not too heavy on the heartfelt. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a popcorn and one and say Netflix. Assassin's Club, if you like action, you just want a movie that is going to kind of stabilize you after watching some depressing stuff and just to give you a dose of action. Assassin's Club wasn't terrible. So I'm going to go ahead and give that one a popcorn and one. Jordan, go ahead. What were you watching next?
I watched a Netflix documentary called Buy More, and there's a more title that trails that, but it's called Buy More. It is a psychedelic AI brainwashing kind of aesthetic to it. It's kind of trying to show you the tricks that these corporations use to get you to just overconsume stuff, and the way that they overproduce stuff. And the real main point is not to really guilt you, the consumer, for buying so much. It's more for you to cut back so that you can stick it to these corporations that are over creating things, and just really what it boils down to is how bad it is for the environment, how much pollution this leads to, how much garbage this leads to that we don't know what to do with. All right. It mainly points the finger at Amazon and Apple. It spends a significant amount of time talking crap about Amazon and Apple and Shein.
Flagrant waste.
And Shein, for the most part, these fast fashion kind of places. Yeah. If you've ever heard of Shein.
No, there's a store here called Bleep Fast Fashion, and it's a secondhand store that's all about like, hey, reuse your clothes, like buy used clothes. It's fine.
Yeah, I love it. I love thrifting.
Yeah. Love thrifting.
So Yeah, I mean, this was an interesting. It's just a little too weird at times. You're like, God, why am I still hanging in for this? Like, it's just that when it gets down to the actual information, like it stops with all the gimmicks and all the stupid stuff that it's trying to do. It's like this is interesting, but I don't know. You could most of the information given to you is just stuff you kind of already know. Like you have to be really dense to not be like aware of a lot of the things they're pointing out already in this. So I give this documentary a popcorn. Popcorn. The way it's executed is not good, but the message is good. But you know,
I mean, like you worked at Play It Again Sports. I worked at Best Buy. Much of this we already knew.
Yeah.
To be clear, like if you work in retail, you kind of know most of the stuff that's in this documentary. Would you
Yeah.
disagree or agree?
no, yeah, totally. It makes you honestly, it makes you want to go. In the middle of this thing, I was like, I should start dumpster diving. Because of the way that corporate, like Target or whatever, they just throw brand new crap away, TVs, pallets of goods that are usable, you know? Yeah,
It's same with
Yeah.
food.
food.
You know that restaurants now you're getting into Josh's territory. Restaurants can't give away their food to like the homeless or just people that are in the bar that's already cooked
Yeah.
because if someone was to get sick from it, they get sued. So it's all bullshit legal
Yeah.
issues that disallow them from being able to like, hey, this we can go out into the alley and give us a homeless. No, because if one of them gets sick from one of the hot dogs we cooked out of the 70 extra hot dogs we have, then they're gonna sue us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, ugly, disgusting.
Que ridicolo.
Yeah, no, it's along the lines. The same thing with these corporations is along the lines of the same stuff with the billionaires. If one of them just decided to donate $1 billion, we could cure homelessness and all that stuff, or cure hunger. It's along those same lines as
Yeah.
what you see in this documentary.
Yeah. He killed himself with 1,000 years on his clock. Sorry. Anytime someone talks about the billionaires solving a problem by giving this X amount of money, that's what I think of immediately.
I'm gonna go back to back. I watched. Ready for this, Josh? A classic killer.
Classic killer.
In Shaun of the Dead. I watched Shaun of the Dead. And I didn't realize it was a classic killer until I got berated and degraded and yelled at about how did you watch that movie? Obviously, that's a classic. And I was like, I'm sorry, hands up. I needed a palate cleanser from all the movies I was watching this week. And so Shaun of the Dead was a quick, easy watch. And you know what? This is how about another night at the ye old Winchester and finding a way to spend the rest of your life with your best friend. That's what this movie is. Getting the girl. Figuring things out, finding a way to solve an apocalypse, though you're just a person. And I love this movie. The bye-bye. That whole thing, that's very much how British people hang up the phone, just so you guys know. I was like, okay, bye. That's literally how they hang up the phone in real life. When I call like a British thing, that is real. How his mom hangs up, exactly the same. This is a popcorn and two. It is fun, and this is one of those quotable films where you're like, and your buddy just already knows go, already, like it's already gonna come out. So again, if you need a palate cleanser, you need something that's just funny. No, don't throw that one. That's my Lionel Richie's greatest hits collection. Like it will get you there. The next film I watched was Midsommar. I was very excited about this because I'd never seen Midsommar. But it's a movie that everyone's like, you gotta watch this, I watched it, and it was just okay to me. A lot of it, I guess I watched it too late. It came out in 2019, and it must have just taken me too long. I think Florence Pugh is just okay, not amazing. I think her story's terribly sad. I think with the sister killing the whole family, killing herself, the poison, carbon monoxide poisoning, pardon me, was rough, but a lot of it, like the person studying this Viking tribe, this Swedish tribe, he's an idiot. He's stupid. Chidi from The Better Place, if you're wondering the actor. I don't know the actor's exact name, but he's Chidi. But he was dumb. He was stupid. And I'm like, he's gonna get a doctorate in this? He's an idiot. He's so stupid. All right. Then the girl's boyfriend, just literally, clearly being courted. And there were so many points in this where I was like, just leave. Just walk away. Like run away. Like the second the older people jump off the cliff, the two elders, the second they jump off the cliff and like smash their face or legs, I would have been like, I wouldn't have made a scene because whatever, this is your culture. I would have just left though, quietly.
Yeah.
But nope, not
Just
for me.
grab a sandwich and start walking.
Yep. Like, and don't say anything. Don't bring attention to it. Just all right. But you're clearly
Hey,
crazy.
I gotta take a shit. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and never come back. Like
Yeah.
just that was it would be that easy. And if I asked to get picked up, like nope, I'm good. I'm just gonna walk till I hit a sane town. Like I'm not gonna get a hitchhike. I'm not gonna get a ride. I will just walk this path for. I can live without food for 2 weeks. There is water in the river somewhere. I'm not getting picked up by nobody. I'm not getting like nope. I'm just gonna keep fucking walking.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
Like that's it. It is unhinged. It is crazy for the sake of being crazy. Ali really had a direction he was going for. They did the eagle thing, the Viking eagle thing, where they take the lungs out, and somehow his lungs were still pumping days later because he was murdered days before. It's impossible. There was just a whole lot. Florence Pugh, they painted her to be this vindictive character that just because her boyfriend, who she didn't even like, and didn't like her, cheated on her while being drugged repeatedly, and she knows he's being drugged. Like, nope, hate him enough to put him in a bear costume, just kill that dude.
While being
I'm the
cheered
milkmaid
on.
now.
We're being cheered on by the entire tribe. You're like, yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
Like that.
the
It's
weirdest
weird.
scene in that is the old lady's just pushing his butt.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? She's
Yeah.
pushing his butt. Like, it was a lot to watch.
Yeah.
It was a popcorn for me. I guess I just got to it too late. This is supposed to be an epic film, transcendent. It wasn't that. If it was supposed to be on some level, I didn't get it. Please write to me. Let me know what I didn't understand. I'll prove you wrong. Popcorn. Not a great movie for me. Josh, what were you watching?
Yeah.
A YouTube comedy special just dropped. A little lady named a powerful woman named Melissa Villaseñor. The title of it is Welp, What Now? That's probably how she would say it. If you don't know her, she was the first Latina ever to be on SNL. She does. She's probably the strongest impressionist ever on SNL, and
Whoa.
That's a lot.
Whoa.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a lot. You're saying a lot.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying she was
Good for you. Like, I support you.
She's good at what she did. She's one of the stronger ones, at the very least. She's also really quirky and weird, and she talks like the whitest woman. And she talks about that in the show. She talks about she's Mexican, but she never learned the language, and there's just a whole thing.
Relatable.
Anyway, the whole special is pretty good. I give it a popcorn and 1. It's a giggler. There's not a lot of knee slapping, but there's a lot of. She's clever. She does her impressions, but she does it in a smart way, so it doesn't just like, hey, here's my impression of this. Speaking of, though, want to hear my impression of Gwen Stefani?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So I give it a
What is it?
popcorn and 1.
Do your impression of Gwen Stefani.
Oh. So I give it a popcorn and 1. She had a lot of smart stuff, a lot of good stuff, and everyone should watch it. It's a regular old comedy special. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I watched Cuckoo on Hulu because I don't know why it took me so long to get to this movie. It just took me too long. But it's got Hunter Schafer from Euphoria with Zendaya, Dan Stevens, and Jessica Henwick. And it took me a long time to get here. And honestly, Pop 2. Let me just say that.
I've heard good
And I
things.
might be wrong. I might have just been in a state where I watched it at the right time and in the right place. But Pop 2. Why did this movie not get more pub? First of all, it was fun. It was a really fun movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was vampires. I was incorrect. It was not vampires. It's something else, some other entity. I don't want to ruin it because I was thrown off because they're not vampires. They appear to be vampires, but that's not what they are. And what they do is the whole town is in on this because this resort owner is paying the whole town, including the doctors.
One of those things.
Yes, the whole town, and it's a town in Bavaria, in the hills in Germany, where they are trying to experiment with an ancient species and figure out how to bring this ancient species back. And this ancient species utilizes humans to put their babies in, to raise their babies until they become a normal creature. In the very first scene, the initial woman creature that is chasing down Hunter Schafer's character, it's actually kind of a creepy scene. Like, you're kind of like, whoa, like this is Like, imagine riding your bike through the dark in the middle of nowhere with no lights, and all of a sudden you just start to see a shadow every time you pass by a street light, and you're like, oh shit, there's someone chasing me. And you
No,
look
man.
back, and it's like a vampire. And I was like, this is such a good movie. Like, that was literally my reaction. And I had to pause what I was doing. I just focused on this film, and it was good. It was unique. It was different. It was something that was not what I was used to seeing. So I gave it a pop too, based on that. And it's not necessarily the best written film. It's not necessarily the most interesting storyline you've ever seen. It's just so unique and so new and so different. And I was so interested in that aspect of it because it wasn't like anything I had been watching over the last 5 years. It was new, and I loved that. It didn't seem so formulaic. So for me, it didn't seem so formulaic. So I give it a pop 2.
Nice.
All right, so that was Cuckoo for me, a pop 2. You don't have to agree. It's my personal opinion. Josh, what else were you watching?
I watched something surprising and wonderful. It's called Secret Level. It's on Prime. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
No, you informed me. Jordan's watching it.
About
now.
halfway through it, yeah.
About halfway through. So this is it's just an anthology series. Every episode is self-contained. It's very much like Love, Death, and Robots, even in the way you play it, because it plays random episodes. The thing about this, though, is every episode is about a game. So there's Spelunky, that's one. Pac-Man's one, that one is dark. Warhammer, yeah, they made Pac-Man like really dark. I'm still thinking about that particular episode. There's a lot of games I don't know about.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
15 episodes.
Yeah. That was
A lot
my-
of games I don't know about. And it doesn't even matter. Like, the games are cool, and you get the concept of sort of what the story is. Who cares? It's a bunch of short stories. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in an episode. It's a great episode.
It's a good episode, but his voice acting is terrible. Because it's
Yeah,
just
but-
Arnold. Yeah.
But it plays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Keanu's in one. There's a Mega Man episode that is ready for a full-length movie. Like, it's like, you got everything you need. It's all right there. So it's cool that some of them are self-contained, and it's perfect as a little short story. There's one that talks about space light travel, and like he's trying to find his daughter, and it's like he goes to this planet. Is 1 year for him, 10 years for her, and that's like the story as it progresses. And so that's kind of cool. A lot of cool concepts, wonderful CG. Everyone should watch it if you like cool space sci-fi video game nerd stuff. Popcorn
Okay.
too. So, yep.
Popcorn and 2. Popcorn and 2. Where can they get it, Josh?
It's on the Prime.
On the Prime. Optimus Prime, that is. All right, so I watched Amelia Perez. It is this year's Netflix contender. It is a musical unnecessarily. When I watched it, I was like, why is this? It doesn't have, it could be a good movie without it being a musical. And even then, for me, it would have just been okay. We know Hollywood loves musicals, right? By now, like, they just love them. It doesn't have to be a good musical. There's so many bad musicals that are nominated for Oscars and Golden Globes. And I think most viewers are going to be like, this is not great, like Super Bowl level competition. It's just a musical. You know, it's just fine because it's a musical. And that's this. And the singing in it, not great. Songs, not great. The songs are kind of stupid, if I'm being frank. Like, there's 2 good songs in the entire musical. It's over a 2-hour movie. And I had to watch it in bits and pieces. It's not made for me. I'm aware it's not a movie for me. Like the next film we're going to discuss all together as a group. But it's Zoe Saldana is amazing, and she's going to win Best Supporting Actress, and she should, because she's the best part of this film. Essentially, in this film, you have a drug dealer that has not necessarily... Yeah, and you know what? Let me change my tone. It is a change of heart, but that change of heart comes with a sex change. So this drug dealer has a sex change, has a change of heart, and wants to help the people that he or she have hurt throughout their time as a drug dealer, and begins to do so, and it backfires through the previous wife, and then the story takes off. I don't want to spoil it, but it shouldn't be a #1 contender for best film. It just shouldn't, and there's no reason besides it's not that great of a film. It's just not. The story's fine. It's okay. If it wasn't a musical, I don't think it'd even be nominated. I think it's Sicario without it being Sicario. I think the message it's trying to send, we've all heard, we've all read, we know about, and you executed it decently, not greatly. It's a popcorn and 1 for me, and I feel bad saying that. I know one of us had to watch it. I took the bullet for the team because we got to get all of our Oscar films in. I don't know if we're going to get The Brutalist in before the Oscars start, but we got to watch that. And this was along those lines, and it just didn't live up to the billing. When you go through Gold Derby, almost every they're up for Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Best Film, Best Director, and I watched it and I simply said, "Why? Why? Because I'm supposed to like this?
Why?
It's really it. It's because I'm supposed to like this. It's not good."
Yeah,
That's
Howard
heavy,
Stern
bud.
did a whole long bit making fun of a particular
Who did?
song. Howard Stern,
Oh.
a particular song in this movie where I guess she's talking to a doctor, and
Yes!
yeah,
The worst song in the whole movie.
yeah, explaining the process basically
Yes.
of sex change,
Yeah.
and
That's
it's
it.
yeah, it's
It's a song for no reason. That's why I said unnecessarily a musical.
South
There's-
Park did it first.
There are so many songs in this that you're like, why is this a song?
Yeah.
Why are you singing right now? This doesn't even make sense in the scheme of musicals. So yeah, it just wasn't good. So let's talk
Somebody
about a
wrote
film that we all have different opinions on, and I want to start with Josh because I think Josh is the only positive opinion. Josh, what was the final film you watched this week?
Night Bitch. It's such a good title. I don't know if it fits the movie, but I love the name. Night Bitch. It reminds me of I don't know if you watched 30 Rock. There was a little cameo with Will Ferrell where it was like a show, Will Ferrell in Bitch Hunter. And he just like kicks in the ladies' room door and starts blasting a shotgun. Anyway, Night Bitch, Amy Adams. I'd say maybe nomination worthy performance. I liked her job. This is a movie about a not a single mother, but a stay-at-home mother who's pretty much mostly alone, which is a struggle of a lot of single parents in general. And weird things are happening. Is she becoming a werewolf? Is she not? It's never clear. It deals with a lot of surreal, did that really happen type of stuff, reminding me of American Psycho.
No.
You catch that parallel,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah.
Sure, that's good. That's good.
In the end, it's not clear, but it's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
That's how I felt.
that's my take. That's my takeaway.
It was
We're gonna
weird.
keep. Okay.
That's what you just said. Your response to me doing that was my response to her in the film.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep doing this.
We're just gonna keep doing this. Okay. But yeah, it's very surreal in that way, but not like over the top, super hallucinations and stuff. But she gets like extra
Over the top.
nipples. She
Not
gets a
over the
tail.
top. What would you describe me as? If
Well, she
not over
never-
the top. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm
She-
sorry.
She never. It's never clear, but in the end, it's kind of like, who cares? Like, I get to the metaphor you're trying to say. You know what I mean? But also, like, slightly definitive would have been nice. Like, did you not give me that book? Like, why are we doing that part where you're lying about whether I gave you that book?
Yeah.
You gave me the fucking book. Anyway,
Well, it's in her head. She went and rented the book herself. Is the
Did
thought
she?
there?
maybe, I don't know. But
Well,
I
how do
will
we know
say,
that book wasn't just Animorphs?
yeah.
Her on the cover changing
No.
into a dog.
Yeah, slowly.
So there's all these things that are questionable, and you're not sure if they really pulled it off. They didn't, but what's important is the message, and I think the message is there. It's something that I have witnessed. It's a mix of postpartum depression and then a total life shift where you're kind of feeling stuck.
You've seen
blah,
someone
blah.
turn into a dog?
Yeah, dude. No, but I've seen, for instance, my stepmother when she had her toddler, my little brother. She talked to me at length about feeling just like this, like the big monologue Amy Adams has had, and feeling invisible, and then feeling all
At
these,
the very beginning or at the end?
all of it, whatever. There's a whole
She has multiple
cavalcade.
monologues.
Yeah, lots of inner
There's a whole
monologues.
ca-
Yeah.
a whole like myriad feelings that
Yeah.
are just blasting left and right. She's losing her mind. All of that is the purpose of this movie, just to show like I don't know, the little horse girl inside you is still there. You got to do this, and you're going through this crazy time. It doesn't have to be this or that. The show's about motherhood. It's about finding self and keeping self. And I thought that part of it was beautiful. I'm not ever going to watch this again, but she did good.
Yeah.
What do you rate it?
Oh, popcorn and 1, I'd say, yeah. Say
Popcorn and 1. Okay. All right. Popcorn and 1. I'm going to say this. Jordan, we're going to go to you, but in response to Josh, this is my end, the end of my watching this movie. Though it is well acted, at the end of the day, it is awkward, unsettling, eerie, pardon me, and not a fun watch. Popcorn. Jordan, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a lot of inner monologue, not sure what's going on kind of thing. A lot of random details that are just like not fleshed out at all. Like implying that she like grew up Amish and her mom was also a dog woman.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all women are dog women, that kind of thing. Yeah.
She pops out a huge nasty zit in her ass crack that hair comes out of. That was absolutely like I didn't need to see that. That was
Her
terrible.
tail.
Yeah,
It was a tail.
yeah,
It was gross.
but god,
It's a metaphor.
yeah. She's oddly calm about everything that's going on. At times, she's even like giddy about it, and it's very weird. It's a Twilight Zone episode, basically.
That forgets that it's a Twilight Zone episode at the end. It just forgets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't think this is going. I don't think we were the target audience for this. I don't think men in general are the target audience for this. So I don't think we're supposed to get it. So that's fine. I didn't hate the movie as I was watching it. I kept wanting to see like how this was going to play out. I give this a popcorn and 1.
Again, Amy Adams is not enough to carry this movie for me. I gave it a popcorn and I stand by it. Even with both of you watching it, and I even put in my title, this is not made for me, but it's not well shot. It's mediocre. It's well acted, and that's the best part of the movie. Amy Adams crushes it. She's in her bag. She's in her Christian Bale bag. She put on all the real weight. She grew facial hair out so she could better, I guess, emphasize that she was turning into a dog. There's a scene where she's talking to her husband, and he's like, "Do you want to have sex?" And she says, "No, I just have 6 nipples right now, and don't know that you'd find that appealing." And I was like, "What the fuck?" There's so much to this movie that are that WTF moments that make it not interesting, not enjoyable. It's like I jest, but there's some truth in jokes with the whole Animorphs thing. What are we doing here? Is she an Animorph? The non-fleshed out Amish background. The husband, husbands do need to be more knowledgeable and empathetic around what is going on as opposed to apathetic at the home.
Oh, boy,
like you need to care more. You need to understand what people gave up. Yeah, and it's the funny thing is you're kind of I'm gonna get in so much trouble on his side until the very end.
Oh, not me.
At the end, you're like, oh, I see what he's being. No. Just the justification he provides is okay until you understand the whole facts, like everything that's going on. Like you can understand his justification because we can't predict what you're thinking, Josh.
Sure.
Like,
no, I get that.
You have to talk.
Yeah.
But
you
there's
have
also,
to say.
yeah. No, I understand that. But, like, I feel it because it's just like this is a situation that sucks. But they both suck at the communication aspect. Of course, that's why the problems. But then there's the whole thing where, like, she's just trying to take a nap and, like, every 5 seconds he needs help.
Yeah.
So she's like, so I'm not actually going to get a break today? I'm not actually going to rest? And then I do love, though, after all this, however you look at it, at the end when he's like, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, are you about to insult this art piece? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
The artist is going to come out swinging.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I thought he was about to be like, oh, I'm a big dumb idiot. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? And then he says his thing like, I didn't get he comes Right. He says, like, I didn't get how great you were, all this stuff, and he apologizes. But it starts off like, I'm a caveman. You know
It's
what I
one
mean?
of those moments where it's like it's those horrible moments where you're watching a judging show, any kind of baking show
Yeah.
or something, and they go, "I thought I was gonna like it, but then I loved it," sort of thing.
It was. It's just. It really was. It's not going to captivate an entire audience. That's
I
what
do
I
think-
will say.
I say it's overall, it's a beautiful film for the message it's trying to get across. But
Okay.
yeah, it's not timeless classic material.
I think Amy Adams crushed it. That's what I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Outside of it, I don't know if it was the right vehicle or vice to get the message across. I think it was just okay.
What she needed was duplicity machine.
Duplicity? Oh,
Yeah, she
multiplicity?
needed to multiply. Yeah, she needed to clone herself.
Different people.
Yeah.
It all goes back to the dinner with the graduate students, the fellow. It's not
give me
their
that.
job to understand you. That was my whole
No,
point.
yeah. No, I understand that. And I think she was just in breakdown mode.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I understand. And I think she understood.
Do
but
you?
she's like, yes.
Okay.
I definitely understand. I totally understand. I've been her, and I've been the other side too. Like, particularly in art. Like, I've had colleagues and stuff that are just not doing shit anymore. And I've been the guy who's just, I'm not doing anything right now because I'm doing this and it's more important, or I can't, blah, 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 blah. I've felt like I was stuck. I've gotten myself out of it, got myself into it. That happens a lot. And it's not just art, it's pursuit of passions. And we stifle ourselves without realizing it.
Yeah.
And it's nobody's
Okay.
fault.
Nobody forced her
I
to
think-
order the kale salad.
You dumb
that's
bitch.
true. None of us have kids.
Right.
Okay? But all of us have been around people with kids. And this is a
Yeah.
very real thing where they expect you to be able to relate to them and their situation. And no.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
I'm so over that.
Brought me to a line in Complete Unknown. It just shows how pretentious and shit the whole Bob Dylan Timothy Chalamet thing is. He's buying a little like a toy whistle that he's like, ooh, I'm gonna put this into a song. And the guy he's buying it for goes, oh, that's cool. You got kids? And he says, millions of them. And hops on his motorcycle and drives off.
Ew.
yeah.
All right. Well, on
Jesus.
that note.
You bottom boy, dude.
On that note, that's perfect. So let me get to my drunk classic. It is mine this week, and I've wavered between an animated classic and a live action classic that's more recent than the animated classic, and I've settled on the live action classic. And for no reasons other than the Royal Rumble will be on Netflix in
Nice.
February 1st. Yes, everybody's going to be able to watch it. It's one of my favorite events. So
I
I'm going to
love the
settle
Royal
on
Rumble.
I'm going to settle on one of my favorite wrestling movies, and it's a recent movie, but I think it's fantastic. I think the message behind it is glorious. I think even Jordan's going to get to see a lady, so he's going to love it. We're going to watch The Wrestler.
I called
I've
it.
reviewed
Yeah. I love it.
You know, it's a great movie. We're in another Butter on Top section where the Butter on Top Den of Thieves 2 is not playing here in England.
Oh.
And so I'm not going to see O'Shea Jackson looking like he ate O'Shea Jackson. I'm not going to get to watch that. But you guys can go ahead and see Den of Thieves 2. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to watch A Real Pain starring what I think is the better of the Culkins, Kieran Culkin.
I want
I
to watch
told you
that
we would get back to
too.
this later in the episode. And then I'm going to watch Baby Girl as well with Nicole Kidman. I'm going to watch both movies.
Ew.
Go ahead, Josh.
I've seen Macaulay and Eisenberg, no, Kieran Culkin and Eisenberg in interviews on like Conan and Smartless and stuff, and it just sounds like a really, really interesting movie. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So I'm going to go see that as our butter on top. You guys are going to go see Den of Thieves because that comes out in the United States. Den of Thieves 2, pardon me. And maybe I'll dive into Den of Thieves 1 and see what was going on because I don't think I've ever seen that.
Okay.
Cool. Fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us each and every week. Josh has got so much of a rant to cut out, so I apologize for any hard cuts that have to be made, but that is where we are. Soon we will have a website or a Patreon where you can see everything uncut, but we're just not there yet. We need more of your support. So join us every week on Popcorn and Beers, where you meet us at the movies. You bring the popcorn, and we'll get the beer. See you next week.